The start of tick season in North America has seen a surge and a spread of the Lone Star tick, whose bite can transmit alpha-gal syndrome, or AGS, which is a potentially fatal allergy to red meat and other mammal products. I spoke to Dr. Holly Gaff, who studies these ticks for Old Dominion University, to try and better understand what the behavior of these ticks is and how we can best protect ourselves from getting exposed to AGS and getting bitten.
This year has been started off really high numbers of ticks, and so I'm really interested to see what's going to happen over the course of the season. They moved into Virginia in the late 50s, early 60s, and then they've continued moving northward with some with climate change, some with habitat change, some just taking advantage of the large number of white-tailed deer, which is their favorite food.
So in terms of curbing the numbers, we're and also as a trigger of a high season, we're mostly looking at the overpopulation of white-tailed deers.
Yeah, they are everywhere, right? We have chronic wasting disease because of that. We have the deer themselves are also facing a lot of health challenges because of their overcrowding and overpopulation. But we've also moved out into the exurbs, right? So we as Americans have moved into the beautiful suburbs and the beautiful mountainsides. And so we have moved into these areas which were already pretty tick heavy.
This type of tick is particularly aggressive. I think people are freaked out, myself included, when we see videos of adult Lone Star ticks just basically chasing their prey. Is that like a very singular behavior from that particular tick?
The tick is definitely anything in the genus that it's in, the Amblyomma genus that it's in, are very aggressive generally by nature. Ticks have two options. They can either be the much more docile sit and wait type tick where they wait for you to come to them, or they're this pursuit tick like Lone Stars and Hyalomas where they will chase you down. They can sense usually through 30 to 100 meters away and will move towards carbon dioxide. And so it does make it very difficult to avoid them, right? They will come. Well, I mean, but they also I give them a little respect, right? They haven't eaten in generally about a year, and so they're probably really hungry.
They're preferring larger mammals to feed
Yeah.
on. That's correct.
And unusually compared to a lot of other species, Lone Stars will feed on large animals in all three life stages. And so this larvae, little tiny specks of tick that you can find come in large numbers for Lone Stars, and they will indeed bite deer, humans, dogs, cats, foxes. Medium and large mammals are their preferred blood meal, as opposed to like black-legged ticks or dog ticks will feed on small mammals in their first couple life stages, and so you don't tend to see them until they're nymphs or adults. But Lone Stars, they will come at you in all life stages.
How long does an Lone Star tick have to be attached to have a chance to transmit AGS to someone?
We don't completely know, right? But our best guess is it's probably more on the time frame of like viruses, because viruses are going to come with the salivary proteins, and that's generally, as terrifying as this is, in the 15 to 30-minute period. This sensitization to alpha-gal really happens in the saliva, and the longer it's there, the more you're going to have that chance of sensitization. And just because you're sensitized and exposed to it doesn't mean you're going to have the allergy, right? There's all kinds of other physiological manifestations that we don't fully understand yet. This is a really, really young field of study. And then the control question, right? This is always anytime we go out and we're working with folks or collecting ticks, people are always like, just take them all, get rid of them. We don't want them around. It's very difficult, right? So ticks, a single female will lay generally for Lone Stars, probably generally around 5,000 eggs. And even if 1,000 of those become larvae, right, that's a lot of larvae. And then maybe 100 of those will be successful as nymphs. And then maybe 10 of those will be successful as adults. And then 2 of those are successful to mate, and then you're right back where you started. And they have these long periods in the leaf litter where they're dormant, and so you can't really target them without interfering with all of the, positive insects and invertebrates that you want to keep around. And a lot of it right now just relies on individuals' personal protection, right? So treating yourself with chemicals that you're comfortable treating with, avoiding ticky areas during high tick times like right now, keeping long pants, right? Doing tick checks. We've started really encouraging people to think about tick checks when they're in the field. Always we would say, wait till you get home and check for ticks, but at that point, the tick may have been attached long enough to transmit the sensitization to this protein.